My name is Simon Rusnak, and before closing the book on a literary-inspired season, Manitoba Underground Opera has one more tale to tell. Or actually, a few of them. A gender-bending English adaptation of Jacque Offenbach's The Tales of Hoffman opens this week and runs through the end of the month. To hear more about it, I'm joined by MUO Executive Director Brendan McKeen and Hoffman himself, tenor Adam Sperry. Welcome to you both.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. So good to see you. And Adam, welcome back to town. Good to see you, man. We know each other from U of M days. You're a graduate of the Digital School of Music. You went on to study at McGill in Montreal. Home is now in Ottawa, is that right?
Correct, yes.
How's it feel to be back in Winnipeg?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's been a fantastic homecoming coming back here.
And I'm also curious about how it feels to return to Manitoba Underground Opera, because you've been no stranger to their stage over the years.
This, I believe, is my 7th production with the company, so it's been nothing short of an immense pleasure.
Yeah, I'm sure that's putting it mildly. 7 productions. I mean, what keeps you coming back to MUO as a performer?
It's the company. It's the company, it's the people, the collaborative environment that they create every single time we put together a production.
And so excited for you to return, especially to sing a title role as Hoffman in The Tales of Hoffman. Before we bring in Brendan, who is glowing after that rave review of MUO, I'm wondering, Adam, if you can tell us a little bit about Hoffman himself. How would you describe the character that you're going to be performing?
This is a great question. I like to think of it as a recipe. Hoffman is probably 2 cups of the German Romantic movement of Goethe, and then about 1.5 cups of like Allen Ginsberg, William S. Burroughs, American beatniks of the 20th century, and then a heaping tablespoon of George Michael.
Wow, okay, and put that all together, and there you have the title character of Hoffman. And, well, Brendan, this seems like a great time to bring you into the conversation mid-laugh. I mean,
oh, my gosh.
I'm really curious about this because, I mean, this is the ultimate heartbreak guy. I mean, we get to watch Adam's heartbreak not once, not twice, but 4 times in one show. Can you tell us a little bit more about why this was a good fit for MUO? Because when you were walking us through the 2024 season, you alluded to this being an over-the-top spectacle. It was too much, and that just fits so perfectly with MUO and their mandate.
Oh, my gosh. You could just say it fits with me. I truly, the last show of the season is generally something that I can just have a bit of a wild card time with. What I wanted to create was just something you'd never see again that was too much, that was so loud and so entertaining and so specific to where we were. So, and Adam doesn't know this, but this show was picked for him well before. This dude is ready to sing the big roles. He's ready to sing the powerhouses. Hoffman is no small feat. People wait years before they're even allowed to touch it, and most people don't even get the chance. But I knew that he was on the cusp of it, and I wanted to make sure his first one was with us in a nice, safe, loud and proud gay bar for fun. But so I am elated that we got you back for this one.
I think what's so amazing here is that, as Adam was just talking about, I mean, this is his 7th production with MUO, and this comes at a pretty pivotal, there's the word I'm looking for, good thing I'm not on the radio, pivotal time in especially a young performing artist's life, right? Especially for a guy's voice as they're finding it, as they're growing into it. Yep. How do you feel like Adam's voice has grown through these productions and now tackling this big title role?
Holy moly. I've heard this guy from like when he was 18, which is wild because we're the same age and I will have no debate on that whatsoever. But I've always heard the what's going on inside, and I've just been waiting for it to continue polishing and continue growing. And the roles have gotten a little bigger and bigger as we've went. It's kind of classic things that are like, this is very good for you right now, like when we did Magic Flute all those years ago. And then hearing you when you sang with us in Don Giovanni, that was when I was like, okay, yep, we're ready to flip the switch. He just needs a bit more time. And then the dark times hit, and I was like, and he filmed for us and sent videos of him filming in his apartment. And I was like, okay, good.
Sounded great. Yeah,
we're there. Great. I just need to, actually get the show together and we'll be fine.
Yeah, as someone who's also followed Adam's career, I mean, we always knew he had a phenomenal voice when he showed up as an 18-year-old, but now watching it grow, I mean, we're just going to put this on the Adam spotlight here. I mean, it's just sort of what this has turned into.
That's why I invited him.
But just so excited to have him back here in Winnipeg and for the Winnipeg audience to have the chance to hear Adam perform where you're at right now. So let's stop talking about Adam for a second here and get back to the tales of Hoffman themselves, because there are a series of tales that unfold. Adam, can you kind of walk us through the stories that happen through this opera?
Absolutely. So to begin with, I mean, as Hoffman, I'm telling these stories at the tavern, which quite literally within our interpretation is Club 200. The first story is that of Olympia and Spallanzani, her father. Olympia is a doll. She's not a real person. And so Hoffman falls head over heels for this doll in the most naive way possible. He is not aware of it at all, of what's actually going on, and has his heart broken. Heartbroken the first. Second vignette with Giulietta, which is red-blooded, full of lust and all of those earthly desires. And Giulietta is... she has a relationship with a magician, and her whole thing is she needs to steal Hoffman's reflection, and she steals his reflection while in the midst of seducing him, and again, heartbroken the second. And then the third vignette with Antonia, she has a beautiful voice, is a beautiful singer, but does not and is not self-aware that she actually, in fact, has an illness that if she sings too much, she's going to die. And she sings a fantastic, glorious trio with the voice and the doctor, and proceeds to die. So Hoffman's heart gets broken 3 times. Some might even say 4, because all of these 3 different vignettes and 3 individuals are in fact embodying one individual, which is Stella, the opera singer, which has Hoffman's heart. And he's trying to reconcile all of these emotions while telling these stories at the tavern, at Club 200.
Yeah, and well, anyway, we'll let the story play out as it does. But yeah, it's one of those that is just an incredible one to follow. I'm curious about this, Brendan, because I mean, this is originally a French language opera. It's been adapted in English. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it's been condensed down? It's just under 2 hours in length. Is that right?
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of team members just really go at it. Like the whole thing really runs like 3.5 hours, because it basically becomes 5 acts. It's bananas long. And we basically looked at it and said, okay, what's moving the story forward? And what's a moment where we just stop and kind of sing for 4 minutes? And we took those, sing for 4 minutes and said, you gotta go. We don't have all day. And then people came in, kind of worked with a lot of different English translations that were out there, and they worked it through the entire process. There's actually one line that I texted the music director mid-rehearsal and said, what about this? And they kept it, and it's still in there. And it's a bit shocking that it's kind of, I would say it's at least 15 people have parts of their language choices in this show.
I mean, it is quite the spectacle. Adam, you're one of 10 singers on the program, plus there's a full chorus I'd like to add. Yep. Brendan, can you tell us about how you're really embracing the space that is Club 200 and how this is really seeming to me at least anchor the drama and how it's been realized?
Yeah, unintentionally, but when we were in the WAG, we were on the swivel chairs, so you could watch everything on all sides. Well, I don't know what the director, he never saw Hansel and Gretel. He just got it in his mind that he said, I want everybody to also just turn and look around them in every direction.
Immersive theater, gotta love it.
There are chase scenes behind and through the audience. There are moments where people are hiding behind members. Characters will constantly look to the other side and be like, do you see this dude fall in love with a doll? What's going on with him? And so it's kind of no matter where you sit, you're going to have somebody probably singing at your face.
It sounds like an incredible wild romp through what is opera. I'm also curious about director Matthew Paris Irvine. This is just a pretty incredible opportunity in terms of really just driving this thing forward, right? And embracing a whole bunch of different elements. We were talking off air about the idea of almost improv being a part of it too. A lot of this is self-directed, it sounds like, as well.
It's truly, his style is so collaborative that he walked in and he wanted to understand what everybody's impulses were and what they wanted to do. And then it kind of became a lot of give and take to how are we going to, put this together. For example, like Olympia, the Dolls song. There are millions of legendary recordings out there. So what does the doll song look here in Club 200? What does Alice's doll song look like? So he didn't walk in and say, I need you to put right hand here, left foot there, and do the hokey pokey. He was very much, how are we going to make this together, and what draws you into it?
It is going to be quite the spectacle. I feel like spectacle is the word in this case.
19 singers surrounding the audience. There's moments where they're all going at it in true operatic finale style, and you're just like, what? I am overwhelmed.
Adam, is there anything that you'd like to add in terms of a pitch? Why should people come to see this particular production for MUO?
Continuing with what Brendan said, it's such an immersive experience. I don't think that there are any opera productions where you quite literally are standing next to the soprano going up to a high E flat and feeling it vibrate through your spine. It's so immersive. It is a completely incredible experience.
Brendan, as we're putting the kind of capstone on this 2024 season, what an incredible season and a run it has been for MUO. What do you think this show says about the company itself? And what do you hope people take away from a production like this one?
That I think, I always like to compare opera to movies all the time. And people go, I don't like opera. It's like saying I don't like movies as an entire genre. And I say, well, you know what? That just means you haven't watched the right one yet. We all have different tastes. So I say, maybe if you haven't found the right one for you, maybe this is it. Or if you have found the right one, this might also be it too.
Yeah,
so give it a try.
Come and give it a run. And what a run it will be, really setting up shop in Club 200. September 18th tomorrow through the 29th with various start times. You can find them all at ManitobaUndergroundOpera.com. Tickets are just $25, though it is 18 plus, right, Brendan? We should clarify.
It is 18 plus because it's a bar. That's the only reason. There's no content that you would be like, oh no,
18
my
plus.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's just, we no serving minors.
Yeah, no,
that's the deal.
It makes sense. Again, details at ManitobaUndergroundOpera.com or Classic107.com. Adam, Brendan, thank you so much for being here today.
Always a pleasure, man.